Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. And I'm Mofo here. And today, I'm going to show you how we finally did the very difficult achievement called Clock is Ticking. What you have to do for this difficult achievement is to complete the fourth chapter on extreme mode while capturing the final three objectives within 4 minutes from the appearance of the first of them. What that means is once you already cap the second cap and the gate opens, that's when the 4-minute timer starts. And if you get it, you will have this camo for desert map, and because I already got all the achievements, I got this base paint as well. So it looks like this with that camo and the base paint together, which I think looks very striking and actually kind of nice for a winter map. And now, why is this achievement very difficult? One thing is because there is very little room there's very little margin for error. You cannot afford to make too many mistakes because 4 minutes for 3 caps is very tight actually. So now I'm going to show you how we finally did this achievement, how we figure out the strategy, and what vehicle lineups to go for. So for this achievement, a preferable vehicle setup will be to have 4 T15s and 1 Leclerc T40. Why the Leclerc T40? Because 1, it's tier 9, and 2, it's quick, 3, it's autocannon with the improved firing mechanism, is very good at taking down drones at the last cap quickly. And it also helps that it has a 360-degree smoke, which you can pop 3 times, and the smoke screen has a duration of 15 seconds. So that's very helpful for shielding and keeping your teammates who was trying to cap concealed. However, for this run that I'm going to show it to you, we happen to not have a player who has a Leclerc T40. So instead, we ran full T15s instead. So now I'm going to show you on how to configure your T15 for this particular achievement. We will start with the commander. For a commanders, I suggest that you go for a commander who has a base improvement, a base capture rate improvement, which happens in this case to be Ionis Sana. As you can see, he has this Infiltrator 3 skill with a base capture rate increase of 18.8%. If you do not have Sana in this kind of build yet, you can actually also go for Sabrina. Sabrina is actually a good alternative because her core skill is module damage, which is good for trying to track targets from entering the cap. And she also happens to have this Infiltrator 2 skill, which helps with a base capture rate improvement of 10.9%. So all of this base capture rate increases does help in completing the caps faster. Alright, with the commander now done, let's move on to consumables. For consumables, I suggest you remove first aid kit and instead put in synthetic oil. Why? Because you're gonna need as much acceleration as possible to move from cap to cap, and you'll need to rush most of the time, as you will see later on. Also, a fuel rebuild kit number 2 is a necessity. Now let's move on to retrofits. You can use any retrofits you want, but this is a must. You will need this to further boost your acceleration with the improved filter systems. Okay, now I'm going to backtrack a little bit on why I suggest using the Leclerc T40, which is tier 9. Because as I mentioned in my Retribution video, if you have a tier 9 vehicle in your team, the 2 strike drones at the final cap have 14,000 hit points each. If you have a team with all tier 10s, then you have 2 strike drones of 20,000 hit points each. So with a tier 9 vehicle in your team, you are literally shaving off 12,000 hit points from the drones, which is a substantial amount. So keep that in mind. If you do not have a tier 9 Leclerc T40 and you want a substitute, you can go for the Terminator 2. But it's kind of fragile, so yeah, the only good option for a tier 9 vehicle for this achievement is the Leclerc T40. Alright, so I think now it's time for me to hit the replay and let you see how we got it done. For those of you who might wonder whether the recently introduced infantry mechanism is helpful, no, it's not helpful enough for this achievement. So I'd rather you use the top speed instead of the infantry. We've tried using the mortar, but the damage contribution from 4 mortar squads is not significant enough. So you're better off with using top speed instead. Alright, let's hit right in, and I'm gonna show it to you how it's done. So this achievement is incredibly difficult. I believe that other than a platoon of Russian guys who managed to do it, I believe that we are probably the second platoon in the entire game to get this achievement done. I might be wrong, but that just shows how difficult this achievement really is. I'd like to take this opportunity to have a shout out to Dion, Raging, Chip and Teo, and Max Insanity. Very appreciative for all of your help, and thank you all of you. So the main focus for this achievement is being ultra aggressive for the last 3 caps. You have to fire on the move. The only time that you will be stationary is when you are capping. Alright, I'm going to fast forward and hit right into the action. Alright, so for the first 2 caps, all you have to do is to try to conserve as much hit points as you can, while at the same time trying to kill them as fast as you can. Because after trying so many times on this achievement, we observed, or rather we made an observation that there will be less spawns on the 3rd cap if we complete this first phase of this mission quickly enough. The reduction in bot spawns is not really significant, but it's kind of noticeable. So that would help in capping the 3rd cap later on. So now we are done with the first cap. We're going to move on to the 2nd cap. And if you notice, when we enter the 2nd cap area, I'm gonna put onto a better angle here.
Some sort of workshop. Looks like they're fixing stuff in here.
Alright, there we go. We didn't turn left and go to destroy the secondaries, which are the artillery turrets here, because you are not gonna do any secondaries for this achievement. So what we did instead, all 5 T-15s go down the main bridge to the second cap and try to clear off the bots and the reinforcement points as quickly as we can to stop them from spawning in. And also of particular note is, do not fight inside the second cap, because you might inadvertently end up capping the second cap before your team is ready to head off for the third cap. So one side of the reinforcement point is down, both reinforcement points are down. Once this Merkava and the Leopard 2AX are dead, 4 T-15s will head on and stand by at the gate over here to go for the third cap, while 1 T-15, in this case Max Insanity, is standing by the cap to capture the second cap. So how to position your T-15s at the gate? What we found out really helpful is you're going to have 2 T-15s which you're going to designate before the start of the match as aggro seekers. So what these aggro seekers will be doing for the rest of the mission is to try to aggro the bots away from firing at the base cappers, who will be capping the caps themselves, from getting hit and getting the cap resetted. So you want the aggro seekers to move up first, to go through the gate first, while the base cappers will follow behind. So Chippendale and Raging are the aggro seekers, while myself and Dion are the base cappers. And Max, once he's done, he'll follow up and go. So now the gate opens and the 4-minute timer starts. And the gate opened at 11 minutes and 52 seconds. So as we move on, I earlier destroyed the reinforcement point here to blow up the bridge here. So now it's time for us to go in. So as you can see, Dion and myself, the base cappers, will be going down the main road straight into the cap, while the aggro seekers are going to stay on the right side of the cap and try to get their attention away from the base cappers. So what the base cappers do when they enter the cap is to clear off any bots who are inside the cap itself, and of course the turrets. So if you notice, the base capper, one of the base capper, Dion, was dead, so I tried to call Max to enter the cap with me to try to increase the base capture rate. Meanwhile, the aggro seekers will stay on the bridge leading to the 4th cap to stand by. When the gate opens, they can go right ahead. Alright, so now the 3rd cap is done at 10 minutes and 21 seconds. The gate opens and we're going to the 4th cap. I'd just like to pause a little bit here. If you manage to cap the 3rd cap and there are still quite a number of bots still around, or any stragglers left alive, just ignore them and leave the 3rd cap and go to the 4th cap right away. Just ignore them, because you do not have the time to hang around and kill them and then move on. You simply do not have enough time for that. Alright, let's head right back in. So it's the same thing for the 4th cap. The aggro seekers will try to stay in the cap initially, and then they will attempt to move up a little bit more over here to stop the reinforcements from entering into the cap. So it's very important to either track them before they get too close, or just to destroy them, while the base cappers will be sitting in the cap themselves and try to kill the bots in the cap as quickly as they can.
Right, perhaps I was wrong about the last data set. We did find something useful. Oh yeah?
So now we are in the third cap. The base cappers will destroy all the turrets, and the lieutenant, Raging and Chip will move up a little bit. So once the cap is free of bots, it's also good to pop some smoke to keep yourself concealed, so that the cap does not reset. And I actually made an error over here. I drove a little bit too far ahead, and the base capture was kind of, you know, extended. So that was my fault over there. If I did not screw up over there, we could have shaved off like 8 seconds probably over there. Now the fourth cap is done. We're going to move on to the final cap. As you can see, we have about 1 minute, just under a minute, to cap this last cap before the 4-minute requirement is up. So for this fourth cap, you would need one T-15. Just designate one person to hit right in over to this position to quickly destroy this reinforcement point, so that there will be no more bots trying to come in and reset the cap. So in this case, now we are focusing on the drone, and the K-21 that comes in was dead, and we are now like just 6 seconds away. And I was like so worried that we would not get it, and we got it done. And that is where having a commander with improved base capture rate comes in handy. So we just managed to get this achievement done on roughly 4 seconds. It's really very tight, and we were so happy when the post-match results came out and we saw that we got the achievement done. So if you noticed earlier at the drones, because all of us were in tier 10s, the drones had 10,000 hit points, 20,000 hit points each. So we didn't even manage to destroy the drones before we capped the last cap. And that's it, guys. I hope this guide was helpful, and if you like this achievement guide, please kindly leave a like and subscribe. And if you want me to create a series of heroic mission guides, then please kindly leave a comment, and I will do them if there is a demand for it. And that's it for me from today. Good luck on the battlefield, and I'll see you around.